And we do believe in fairly high standards. I think this is the crux of our policy. We believe that democracy is a responsible thing, that people who take part in it should acknowledge this responsibility, and therefore we have high qualifications, both educational and financial. So really, in answer to your question, we don't like the idea of one man, one vote, and even if we did accept it, it would take quite a long time, I believe, where the average African would be sufficiently educated to be able to make an intelligent contribution.
This was Ian Smith, the then Prime Minister of Rhodesia. I thought to myself, let me listen to this white oppressor, this colonizer, and hear what was actually their ideas. And I found out that some of their ideas were actually great. So it makes sense when they had this minimum qualification to say, at least you must be educated to this level in order for you to be voted for as a member of parliament or anything of public office. Because, I mean, it makes sense, right? It's a job. You need to be qualified to be able to perform and to be able to do that job quite well, and also for you to be able to vote. I mean, it meant that it was oppression to the black population, because obviously it automatically meant the majority of the blacks were not educated to that level, so they couldn't vote. But now that we have overturned that system and said everyone can vote, everyone can be voted for, but now ask yourself questions. How successful is that? I mean, it has proven that it's not successful. It doesn't work, because you are getting someone to vote who actually don't know what they are supposed to be voting for. What are the qualities? What does the job entail? So it means the people are the HRs, the human resources, who are supposed to select the right candidate for the job, while it's they themselves, the people, don't even understand what it means, what qualities and qualifications that the person that they are hiring is supposed to have. And fortunately, our people are actually told by the one who is supposed to be elected or supposed to be voted for, that you are supposed to vote for what person 1, 2, 3, 4, person A, B, C, D. That's how our politics work here. It's someone from the provincial head office of the party comes and says this is who we are voting for, and it's done. They don't think about the qualifications, the qualities, the abilities, and the capabilities, what policy means. They don't know any of that. They just go and vote. So that becomes a challenge for those who are actually educated and understand that we are supposed to vote for the right person, but still the majority keeps on giving support to the people who are incapable of running and corrupt and destroying the economy. Democracy doesn't work if the majority of the populace is not educated and does not have enough civil education to be able to understand what they are supposed to vote for. It means nothing. Now that you have elected the cadres, the uneducated people who went to fought wars and whatsoever, how are they doing? Obviously, messing up everything. You can clearly tell that it doesn't work, because these people don't understand what they need to be doing in the offices that they are in. That's why the countries have failed, the economies have failed. That is the gravest mistake that Africa has done. In the African systems, we have made a grave mistake of letting these people who went to war, these people who went to war were supposed to go to war and do their thing. And when the war is finished, they were supposed to let civilians who are qualified and who are educated, who can actually run economies and run countries, do that job. But unfortunately, they came from the war with no idea whatsoever what it means to run a government, and then they just fielded themselves into those positions and took over ministries, shared the cake, and say, oh, you take the Ministry of Defense, you take sports, you take information and technology. The guy has no idea what IT means, what information technology means, what technology means. They have no idea what that is. But they are they are a minister, and still to this day, 60 years later, 70 years later, we still have the same cadres running governments and running ministries, which they have no idea what they are supposed to be doing in those ministries. That is the gravest mistake that we have done, because we did not civilize government and make it a civil organization which is run by civilians who are elected into those offices, but rather than the ex-military combatants who came from the war. Deep inside of them, these comrades and these cadres, they understand that they are not qualified and they're not capable of doing what they're supposed to be doing. They see their failures. It's not, we are all human beings, but the sense of self-defense triggers them and pushes them to become violent against the population. When the population asks the right questions, they start using force against the civilians. When the civilians rise up and ask questions and demand accountability from them, because they are not capable. Deep inside, they know their failures, they know their mistakes, they know that they are not supposed to be in those offices, but because they want to hang on to those offices, that's why they end up using force against the people.